Hello, English 1 classes. Today I'm here to put a quick lesson up on how to take your notes and write your citations and analysis for your research paper. Before we get into the library and the database, what I suggest you do is you open up a blank Microsoft Word document. You can use this document to organize your notes and your citations. The first thing that we need to address is the adventure. Call to adventure. Remember, a call to adventure is anything that forces your character to leave their normal or everyday life, or anything that requires them to make a change. So for example, we're going to go into the high school website, click on the library tab, go to the databases. If you're doing this at home, you're going to need your orange pamphlet that has the database username and passwords. Since this is a school computer and I'm at school, the passwords are already entered. History research. Let's just pretend that we're doing our research on Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to go to American history, and I'm going to search for Abraham Lincoln. You get a list of articles here, and obviously you can narrow these articles down by changing your keywords. But for my example, I'm going to go with a very broad one. I'm just going to use the first article. I'm going to look for a very, very brief example of something that could signify a call to adventure. Okay, so I'm reading. I noticed that he was born in modest circumstances. Okay. I'm not saying that this is a good quote to use, but I just want to get through our example here, so I'm going to choose this first one. Opportunities for education or cultural enrichment were meager, but Abraham made the most of them by frequently borrowing books from neighbors. Let's just say I wanted to use this as my call to adventure. I would copy this quote. I would come over to my Microsoft Word document that's already opened. For call to adventure, I'm going to paste the quote. Okay, I'm going to skip a line. I'm going to go back to the resource. Okay, because I'm going to use this quote in my paper, I know that I'm going to have to cite it. So before I do anything else, I'm going to click on the Citation tab, and it's going to give me the Mla Citation, which I'm going to highlight. And again, I'm going to copy and paste this onto my Microsoft Word document. I'm going to skip another line. Now, I have my quote, I have my citation. As you remember, when we did our practice research paper in the APC, whenever we find a quote and do a citation, we then go and write our analysis. Okay? The analysis is meant to prove that this quote that we found shows us that Abraham Lincoln had a call to adventure. In your analysis, you must prove why the quote shows or means that Abraham Lincoln had a call to adventure. Your analysis should be anywhere between 2 to 3 sentences. Sometimes it will be more than that, but it should really never be less than that. After you complete Call to Adventure, you should repeat the same process for Supreme Ordeal or Crossing the Threshold, the same step. Remember, you need to use a minimum of 2 sources. So I'm going to go back to the database. I already have this citation. I'm going to leave this article. Simply, again, I'm rushing through this because I'm just giving you examples. I'm going to go to a new article. Because it's a new article, it is a new source. Okay, I'm not really going to look through this. I'm going to say, young Abe emerged as a leader in school, and I'm going to call that his crossing the threshold or supreme ordeal. Again, I don't think that this is good evidence. I'm just giving you an example of what to do with a quote once you find it. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to copy my quote. I'm going to go back to my Microsoft Word document and paste that quote in there. Remember, every time you use a quote, you need to go back to the resource, and you need to get its citation. And come back up to the top. I'm going to get the citation. Copy. And paste. Remember, after I find my quote and I cite it, I have to come in here and write my analysis, which again should be anywhere from 2 to 4 sentences. Usually 2 sentences will do it. Sometimes you need to go to 3. If you go all the way to 4, that's not a problem. Again, don't write less than 2 sentences. After you finish those 2, you still have to do the unification or the transformation. And when you finish with that, sharing the reward. The unification or transformation is usually what your hero is famous for. So if I was doing Abraham Lincoln, his transformation is probably when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation and attempted to end slavery. For sharing the reward, I would probably talk about the effects of the Emancipation Proclamation and how he shared his reward with his community. For most classes, this is due on Friday. For some classes, this is due on Monday. When we talk about your quotations being due Monday, this is what we're talking about. A quote, a citation, and an analysis for each of your 4 body paragraphs. Hope this helps. Thanks for listening.